Now, there was a USCIS policy update on the 3 and 10-year bar, which is kind of interesting. It doesn't apply necessarily to a lot of people, but they finally officially said this, and different field offices were dealing with it differently, allowing the 3 or 10-year bar or 10-year bar to run while you're in the United States. So, if somebody here, they leave the U.S., become subject to 3 10-year bar, and someone posted asking how would this come into play practically. What we see is someone leaves the U.S., becomes subject to a 3 or 10-year bar, and then but because they overstayed, for example, on a tourist visa, but they still have their tourist visa stamp, and they just go and CBP lets them in without a waiver, even though that when you overstay under, I don't know, ID 266 or something like that, 222, whatever the rule was, it automatically voids the visa to get in. So what some field offices were saying is that you're still subject to the ban because you haven't waited out the 3 or 10 years outside the United States. Some were approving it regardless, but now they're saying the time runs in the United States. Now, no, it's a 3 or 10-year bar, the 212A9B or something like that, not the permanent ban. But what typically would happen is they would leave, do a tourist visa interview, and apply for a Haranka waiver, a 212T waiver, I think it is. If you came in the United States with a Haranka waiver, they would allow the time to move while you're in the United States. But in the rare case, the person is allowed to get in, and they say with entry, lawful or unlawful entry, which is kind of interesting because if they return unlawfully, I think that they're subject to the permanent bar or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't handle permanent bar cases too often. But it's just a thing to know that time runs for 3 or 10-year bar while you're in the United States. And they made that policy. I think it was a bit over a lawsuit. So that's interesting news. Every once in a while, every couple of years, you'll have a client that's going to help with that.